What's going on, guys? 1MS here, back with a new Raid Shadow Legends video. So today, I'm doing my weekly Platinum Arena video. I wanted to wait until I got my fresh haircut to do this video, so that's why it's a couple days late or later than I normally want to be putting this out. So, appreciate you guys checking it out, watching. So, kind of like usual, we're going to be watching the last 15 minutes or so of my reset. You can see right at the bottom, 1450 left right now. We're going to talk about what I do well, what I do poorly, and how, as I'm guessing from the thumbnail and video title, how Plarium kind of screws me over a little bit. I'm not going to say or pretend that I played perfectly this week, but you'll see later on what happens, and it definitely hurts me. So we just had a super fast 11-second win right there. It looks like they had a resistance Kymar, and then he reset instead of opening with A2, which is a little strange, and I was just able to nuke the team. So now here we're seeing kind of like a pure stall team, right? So I don't actually, there's no Warlord on this team, so I didn't necessarily need a resistance Kymar here, but my other Kymar is in pure accuracy gear, so he's not in immunity. So versus a Hegemon, I needed to still bring that immunity Kymar in here, so that's why I went with my resistance one. So here we're seeing, so it's Ursuga, Wither, Duchess, Hegemon. It's some kind of a crowd control set, Hegemon. So I go in with my, it is the resistance Kymar team, but I mainly ran it here to just try and have the strip from Kymar, strip from Ramontu, nuke from Trunda, and then I was going to double nuke with Trunda, then reset, then do that all over again. Unfortunately, I make a pretty big mistake. I accidentally put the fight on auto because I thought that Trunda was gonna go and use her A3. But instead what happened was Kymar cut in front of her and reset a turn early before she was able to nuke. So what happened here was I should have had Trunda do an initial nuke, and then I should have reset with Kymar, and then I should have had Ramontu do his abilities, and then 2 full nukes from Trunda A3, A2, but what I ended up with was a Kymar reset 1 too early, so I missed out on an entire A3 Trunda nuke here. Now, as you can see, this team is very tanky, and one singular A3 from Trunda would not have made a humongous difference here. It would not have made this fight way faster. This team did pretty well. It just kind of tanked me out kind of a lot more effectively than I thought it was going to. It's certainly possible that I played this fight wrong. Now right there I make a little bit of a mistake, and I forget to, I don't protect the Trunda. And right there I make the conscious decision not to nuke with Trunda yet. The whole team had increased defense on, they had a bunch of buffs, and I knew that Ramontu was going to have his strip, so I intentionally didn't nuke with Trunda there. I just stripped everything with Ramontu, but they have so many different champions that are buffing, and it's kind of hard to keep all of the turns straight. So like who's going when and stuff. So the whole team is basically full health there at 2 minutes and 20 seconds. I just back out. I should have hit that team differently. Should have maybe brought in increased attack or something, right? There was a better way to hit that team. Probably bringing in some kind of a cleanser with like proper full accuracy teams. I'm not entirely sure. There was a better way to hit that team. I didn't hit it the best way. So here we see pretty standard Candrafon, Nuke Hedgie, Duchess, Necrit. So I bring in my my kind of it's not exact. It's definitely not like a go second team, but this is really similar to my sort of Molly immunity team, except for I bring in the Necrit and I bring in my Savage Trunda instead of immunity, since I have that big shield set plus the ally protection from Necrit on my Trunda. That way I can tank Hegemon, and Candrafons, when they're locked out, they're very easy. It's very easy to know what they're going to do. They pretty much just spam A1s into Trunda. So with that shield set, with the ally protection from Necrit, it's really, really difficult for Candrafon to actually kill Trunda through all that, as you're seeing here. He just keeps on hitting her over and over again, and she stays alive. So unfortunately, the Swift Parry on Candrafon, it's actually kind of strange. I've seen a pretty distinct shift away from Swift Parry Candrafon into Savage, but that one was running Swift Parry and ended up costing me like 20 seconds almost. Now here we're going to see, now please excuse what happens on the screen right now due to how I have to record. This is going to look a little strange in a second here, but you can see The Plarium client bugs out on me. So you're going to see a little bit of a background right now. You're going to see my stream, and you're going to see a picture that I had taken. And let me just adjust this really quick. Again, due to my name changing at Arena Reset, I've had to adjust how I record things. It's not perfectly ideal, but anybody who plays the game right now has been experiencing lag outs like that. I can guarantee it. They're extremely frustrating. They've been happening pretty frequently. I've mostly been noticing them in 3v3. I haven't noticed them in 1v1 Arena too much. But unfortunately, I lag out. And so what happens is that counts as a loss for me on offense. Plus, it wastes 20, maybe 30 seconds of my time. So it's actually a pretty big deal for how much of a negative it is for me. Now we see here, I go back in, I fight the exact same team. I nuke everybody, Swift Parry Duchess, prop to Swift Parry, kind of just, I throw it on auto, and 30. So this fight that I lagged out of should have been a 30-second win for me, but instead it was a loss plus burned 30 seconds. So I've basically lost a minute to a minute and a half here. That was not my fault in any way, shape, or form, which is really frustrating. So now here we see, I've actually been seeing a little bit more Mithrala. She's actually, I think she's pretty good. She's pretty solid. It's really hard to get enough accuracy to consistently, or I don't think I've locked out a single Mithrala that I've seen. But here, we nuked her. She wasn't very tanky. The Duchess Stone Skin wears off, A2 Trunda, 20-second win. So pretty quick, feeling good about that. So I had that one loss, a little bit frustrating, but I'm just I'm refreshing, trying to find good teams for me to hit. So I see here Kymar +2 Siphi Warlord Hedgie. So I'm a little bit worried about the +2 Siphi. This was probably actually a really risky fight for me to do, but I think I got pretty lucky there. My Arbiter resisted the Evil Eye from Hegemon. I most likely, with that hitting Arbiter, that's usually a loss condition for me versus speed teams like that, but I resisted the Evil Eye, so luck was a little bit in my favor there. So, yeah. Here we're going to see, this person has baited me a few times, and I keep falling for it because I'm not very good with names. I keep forgetting this person's name. They run that Duchess aura, but they have a +2 Siphi. So what happens is, they're baiting myself and others into thinking, I'm not thinking, my initial thought isn't, oh, hey, they're stupid for not running Kymar lead. It was just, I kind of programmed Duchess lead Siphi. I should be able to be faster than that, right? However, my Arbiter is not wearing like every single piece of gear, like my best speed gear. She's wearing like some of my best with a couple extra pieces. So she's actually 388 speed, and that Siphi with Duchess Aura was still faster than me, which is really crazy. Which means well, for a +2 Siphi, over 400 speed isn't like insane, but it's very fast, and I just I underestimated. I didn't look at the team properly, and I didn't remember that person, so I took a loss there, unfortunately. And now we see here kind of a slow Warlord. So I opened with the A2 on Kymar. I got locked out, reset my abilities, strip, nuke. I made sure I used A2 on Trunda. Duchess revives, and then I A3 clean it all up. Not too bad, right? That's a very standard fight for my my Go second team with the Resistance Kymar, right? So now here we see, this is a pure stall team, right? Pure stall. We've been seeing more teams like this. And so what I did, I brought in, this is Speed Arbiter, this is a very fast, high accuracy Kymar, and then this is my Ramontu, and then this is my Savage Trunda. So this is a very, very strong offense team. And we're seeing here, I'm kind of nuking hitting into this team, and it's not doing nothing, but the team is not really dying as quickly as I was hoping for. Now, unfortunately, Ursuga lands decreased crit damage on my Trunda right when I really need her to have a strong nuke. And I also weak hit on the Wither and don't strip off that increased defense. So Wither, if I had stripped that off, probably would have died there. But instead, she stayed alive, cleansed all of their debuffs off, healed them up a bunch. And so now here I'm just like, just in a bit of an unfortunate situation. I'm already over a minute. I don't think my Trunda really has any abilities off cooldown right now. Ramontu. So luckily I still have pretty consistent buff stripping ability with 2 different buff strippers, so that's good for this team. However, what I really need is I either need Kymar to reset or I need Trunda just to get back around to her abilities and nuke some people. So I'm kind of just trying to grind out this fight right now. I remembered at the time that my Trunda did not have either of her nukes ready right then. So I make the call, I reset with Kymar, strip, nuke, minute 42. Definitely not an ideal offense, but it was okay, right? So now here, this is kind of a strange defense team. Arbiter, Warlord, Hedgie, and then a +4 Rotos. So Rotos without Siphi is pretty easy to take advantage of on defense. What this was telling me at the time was that due to that loss on offense and then taking kind of longer fights, and I already had my defense in at this point, that I was probably not doing so hot, right? I was probably not super high in the rankings, kind of seeing a subpar defense like that, but we keep on plugging on. We find another sort of speed with Hegemon team. This is actually a speed team with a nuke Hedgie, which I don't exactly agree with, but we see the Leorius. We've been seeing him more on defense recently. He can stall out a little bit, but I don't think he's too amazing. 22 seconds, a pretty quick win here. And so now with 4 minutes left, I believe this is the fight right here. It happens again. It literally happens again. The Plarium client freezes up on me, forces me to force close the program. Just kind of insane. I obviously this happens to me. It happens to other players. You can kind of see me face palm in the background there. This has been happening for a couple months now, right? Usually it's once every couple of hours. Sometimes, I'll lose a 3v3 token or I'll lose some energy from a dungeon. It's usually not like a huge deal. It's just annoying, right? But twice in 6 minutes during reset, it was just really insane and really, really bad for me. So now we see here again, Mithrala, she resists my Warlord. I think maybe... I don't know exactly how I would use her, but I think she's pretty solid in defense, right? Now, right there, I intentionally did not nuke with my Trunda. I knew I don't have a Kymar reset, I don't have anything else here, and Warlord and Necrit both just had the 1 turn left on their Stone Skin, right? I knew for a fact that if I try to nuke them, I'll do basically 0 damage. So I held off on the Trunda A3, I wait for them to run out their Stone Skin, then I A3 nuke. Now, unfortunately, you'll see my Trunda right now is actually petrified. So that's a new debuff brought in by Mithrala. So it's kind of like a slightly different stun, right? She doesn't get her cooldowns back, she loses her turn, but at the same time, she also doesn't take very much damage. So she was safe being petrified, but she obviously didn't get her turn. So a minute 9, not the worst. So basically, that fight with Plarium lagging me out, that should have been about a minute win, but instead I ended up going neutral over the course of a minute and a half, a minute 45, right? So especially with 4 minutes left at reset, you can't be essentially doing nothing for 2 minutes. So at that point, after the first lag out, I was like, okay, I can recover, I can be okay. But after the second one, it was just like, okay, I kind of just accepted that I probably wasn't going to do so hot. So here we see Resistance Kymar, reset, strip, A2 with the Trunda, because I know that Duchess is going to revive, A3 follow-up, 33 seconds. Very standard for a team like that. I really love that team. I have a little bit over a minute left, and so I go in, I see another speed team with Hegemon, right? Pretty easy with the Molly. Now, for some reason, this is a crowd control Hegemon open A2 with the speed team. Maybe they forgot to set their AI. I don't really know, but we get the Terminator boost on my Arbiter, boost, lock them out, target Siphi, 17 seconds, boom, really fast win, right? So 45 seconds left. I'm kind of looking through the list. I see a bunch of Mad, and then I see, I probably should have refreshed and tried to take a different team, but I see another stall team. And I know that last week, my offense team was able to win decently fast against these pure stall teams, right? So I figured, hey, you know, I should have just refreshed, found a different team, but I figured I'd give it a shot. I strip with I strip with both of them. A2 the Necrit because he's protecting somebody with Trunda. Kill everybody, they revive, I clean it up, and then I'm just trying to kill this Wither, right? So 33 seconds, and I think actually, I don't know if, I think I actually got that fight in, which is kind of crazy to me, because you can see here, let's see that one more time at the end. I kind of go right past the screen. +9, so yeah, that was actually, oh wait, never mind. That I had dropped down to 34.91, so I dropped out of gold 5 and then got a +9, so no, that fight did not count, unfortunately. So that was it for this reset. We'll see what I place in just a second here. Okay, so getting back in here, we're gonna go look at where I placed, and not so hot this week. 78th, from 3rd place last week to 78th this week. And as you can see here again, I apologize due to the recording process. You'll see me taking a picture because we track all of these stats in my clan. At least I got a Lego book and a void, right? But overall, pretty disappointing to go from 3rd last week to 78th this week. I definitely didn't play perfect on offense, right? Far from it. But those 2 DCs really just killed it. Really just killed me, right? If I had... I won both of those fights. If I had won them in a timely manner, so I would have, instead of going even for those 2, I would have won those 2 outright, and then I would have had another 30 to anywhere from 30 seconds to maybe a minute and a half to do 1, 2, maybe 3 more offense fights if I can get lucky, right? So I would have had more points, and I would have had more time to do more offense fights. I'm not saying this would have been, you know, a top placement, because I definitely made some mistakes and took some longer fights, but would have been significantly better if Plarium hadn't lagged me out. So a little bit frustrating, but you know, we keep on keeping on, right? We keep grinding every week, or at least I do, pushing platinum. I will keep doing it every week, keep making videos. I know people like these videos. I know they like to see or hear my thought process on offense and what I'm doing. And I'm actually really happy with the teams I have on offense right now. I feel pretty flexible, especially with all of these kind of stall teams coming in. I think I need to make a slight adjustment, or maybe just play out those fights a little bit differently. I mean, you saw that one team stalled me to 2 minutes 20 and I backed out, and then another team took like a minute and a half. I'll have to think about that and maybe do things a little bit differently, but I'm not letting this week get me down. Last week was really good. That will continue, right? It was I'll say like 80% Plarium, 20% my fault this week for this poor placement. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you on a new video soon. Peace.